Hello everyone, sorry for all the delay. Today I'm going to read out the second chapter from my first book, which is Those Small Little Things. Now I know it's been quite a while since I uploaded the first chapter and I should have done this before, but I'm sorry for that. So without wasting any more time, let's just turn to chapter number 2 and let's read it. The chapters are really short, and if I feel that I can read 2 chapters today, I'm going to do that. This chapter is called I Am Named and I Fall in Love for the First Time. So it goes, I still remember the day when I was named. This, by the way, was kind of a reference from my side to David Copperfield, because that was another book which starts from the very young years of the main character and goes on till the time of his youth and so on and so forward. This book only covers up till the time when the character is 25, but that was my little nudge towards the book. I had turned 3, old enough to be put to school. Everything had been settled. The school authorities and the principal, etc., had been approached correctly to make sure that I was admitted to the best nursery school in the city. Now, this is a comment from my side to something which is very basic, which not only is prevalent in small towns but in bigger towns as well. It's not very easy to get a child admitted to a good school, and there's a lot of push and pull that happens to get that done. So that was kind of a reference to that. All arrangements had been made. All but one, my name. Till then I was called Baba. I was offered a choice between Raj and Rahul. I chose Rahul. I was so fascinated with the name. I really loved it. For what reason, I really don't know, but I really loved it. Anyway, so that day I was named. I was named Raj. If they were not to listen to me, then why did they ask me what I liked better in the first place? But it's okay, I settled for being Raj in my real life and Rahul in my dreams. So there I was, with a new name, Raj, fully aware of the fact that I was the cutest kid on earth, marching to my new school, completely unaware of the fact whom I was going to meet there. The first love of my life, Pragati. Okay, so a lot is happening, guys. So when I was young and I was 3, I just had a nickname at home, and then suddenly we realized that I need to have a proper name, as we call it here, so that can be mentioned in the roles of the school. I was given a choice between Rohit and Rahul, and I really liked Rohit, but I was named Rahul. So that's what's going on here. Raj, the choice of the name was definitely because of the heavy use of the name in Yash Raj films, and of course, DDLJ came out when I was in 11th, and the charm and the magic of that name was still very much alive. So that's why I wanted to have a very, what they call, filmy character, and that's why I called the character name. Fun fact, my dad's name is Rajkumar, and people generally addressed him as Raj. Anyway, let's move on. And why I have written that I was the cutest kid on earth marching to my new school is because kids, the younger ones in the family, when they're young, they are really pampered, and they are showered with so much of love and such special treatment that until they go to school, they don't really understand that they are not the center of the earth. So that's what I'm trying to say there. I remember her very well. The memory of her face still doesn't fail to bring a smile. Her face, it was so perfect and round. It looked just exactly like a nice, round, white, tempting chapati. So my obsession of food is not new. It's been always there. I don't really remember exactly how we met for the first time, but I do recall that I really wanted to marry her, and that she was my best friend, and that we used to have loads and loads of fun. I don't remember now what we used to do together, but I do recall that we used to sit together in the class, and the teacher used to love us staying together. So lovely you two look together, she used to say. Trust me, no teacher would ever say that to little kids of that age. I don't know why I made that up. But what I'm trying to get to here is that, when a very long time passes and you kind of remember or try to remember your friends from childhood, the memories are very faint or almost a blur. You don't know what you used to do, but you just have this impression that whether you liked the person or used to have fun with them, or whether you hated that person and they used to trouble you. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I don't know what we talked about, but we talked a lot. I could not imagine life without her, school without her, anything in the world without her. I was crazy about her. Man, really, I was. She was the only person I would think about all day. I crossed all limits in her love, and one of the worst things I did when I was in love with her was I developed a habit of writing her name with mine everywhere. Unaware about everything around me, deeply engrossed in my thoughts, picturing us together, I would tilt my head to one side very fondly and write her name with mine just simply everywhere. And I once made one of the biggest mistakes ever till date. I scribbled her name with mine on my dad's account books. I won't tell you much about the consequences, but let's just say that I almost died that day and was reborn. Anyway, so time passed, we grew closer. Today I remember only one conversation clearly with her, and it went like this. That day in school, we were taught that houses could be single storied, double storied, or triple storied, and so on. I have a double stolied house, I said. So I'm trying to use the accent how children, talk. I have a triple stolied house, she said. I frowned. I have a very big garden in front of my house, I said. I don't have a very big garden in front of my house. I smiled. I have a lot yard in my house, she said. What is a lot yard? I said. It's a very big loom with no roof, she said. My room is better. All of the rooms in my house have roofs. I smiled, very satisfied, feeling completely convinced that my house was better than hers. So when I was writing this, obviously I have finished studying architecture in college, and we are taught about the kinds of houses and all of that, and the typology of houses up in northern, for that matter, all over India. Courtyard is one of the best design solutions for dwellings here, and I had a very strong fascination for courtyard houses, and that's kind of an irony which I was just trying to play with myself, that her house was better, but still this kid is thinking that it was the other way around. But I did not feel bad for her having an inferior house than mine, cause I thought that she was anyway gonna live in my house when we grew up and got married. Oh, wow. That's a 3 or 4 years old, by the way. I knew quite a bit about marriage and stuff. My Bhua's daughter had just got married 3 months ago, and I had observed everything very closely. I also knew that if you go 7 times around fire with a girl wearing wedding clothes, God gave you a baby as well. The conversation went on. Where is your house? I asked. It's behind the petrol pump, she said. Where is your house? It's outside the school. My address is 255 Lajpat Nagar, Jalandhar city. That's not my real address, by the way, guys. And there's no house on that address anymore. It's become a commercial place. And this was not my real address in the first place. Anyway, okay, she said. Okay, I said. That's about all I remember of that conversation. And I remember very clearly that after that day, when my dad would come back from office, I would ask him every single day, Papa, car mein petrol dalwane chale, which means that should we go and get our car fueled? At times, Dad would say, we have enough petrol in the car, at which I would get very upset and howl and say that I wanted to go to the petrol pump. Sometimes he would take me for a ride to the petrol pump. And whenever that happened, I would be looking outside all the time. There was a house behind the petrol pump that we used to go to, but I never saw her there. After a few days, it struck me. She might be staying in a house which was behind some other petrol pump. So I started asking my dad to go to some different petrol pump every time. But sadly, the search ended with no success. Time passed and the year came to an end. It was time to part. Time to leave the nursery school. I didn't know what was going to happen. Without her company, I felt life had come to an end. Only toys and ice creams would make me happy. I was sure that I was gonna turn into Devdas when I grew up. I had seen the movie. It was in black and white. The guy was very good looking, fair and foreign educated. He was not able to get together with the one he loved and had started drinking a lot. And had developed a cough, which the doctors called TB. Obviously, it's not TV, it's TB, but that's what that's a kid talking. And died in the end. I had started believing the same would happen to me. I had already developed a cough, without any drinking, however. But you know what? Life goes on. The cough was cured within a week or so, I think. And my parents had already decided the school they were going to put me to next. All this while, I was just praying to God for one thing and one thing only. Oh God, please let Pragati be in the same school that I am going to be put into. When I think about my first love story today, I think this is where it ended. But even today, when we go out to get a car fueled, I look around and wonder, could this be the petrol pump? And this is where the chapter ends. Let's leave it here, and we'll read the next chapter next time. I'll just tell you what the title of the next chapter is. The title is I'm told कि मुझे कोई भी लड़की मिल सकती है. And tiny girls run after me, screaming and calling me Chammak Challo. So that's the next chapter, and I think in the next chapter, I start shifting between the present and the past for this character, so things get a little more interesting. Anyway, so that's it. I think what I was trying to do with this chapter here was that, when you're young and when you're not an extrovert, you make very few friends, and many times you just make just one single friend, and time just flies. You put in pre-nursery, you put in nursery, and then generally you're asked to change school. So it's a different kind of insecurity and different kind of I can't really call it pain, but something like that the kids experience, and of course they recover and they get out of it very quickly as well, because kids are very accommodating, and they don't hesitate as much as grown-ups do. Well, most of them, not all. So I think that's what I was trying to get to with this chapter. Anyways, so do let me know how you like this. I would love to hear your thoughts, and if you have any questions, if you want to know anything else about this chapter, feel free to ask questions. I'll get back with them. And until next time, guys, keep reading, keep watching, keep listening. See you again. Cheers.